Imagine you're walking through the park and you come across this rare sunflower. You think to yourself, hey, this will look great on Instagram. So you whip out your smartphone, but as you get closer, you notice that there's an army of bees. You could digitally zoom in, but your photo will lose detail and it will look something like this. Now here's where the Moto Zoom mod comes in handy. With the Moto Zoom mod, you have 10 times optical zoom and 40 times digital zoom. With optical zoom, you can physically zoom in by adjusting your camera lens. With digital zoom, you are basically cropping into your photos. For example, this is a photo we showed you earlier using digital zoom. Now here's a photo taken with the zoom mod, which uses optical zoom. You can clearly see that the one on the left has more detail than the one on the right. The zoom mod also has a built-in autofocus assist lamp, which is common on most point-and-shoot cameras. This is used under low light conditions so that the zoom mod does a better job of focusing on dark subjects. This works by lighting up the subject area so the camera can identify the subject and focus. Another cool feature about the zoom mod is that it allows you to capture photos in RAW format. With RAW format, photos are not compressed and they have not been processed. Most camera devices convert photos into JPEG since it's smaller in size, and they also add a touch of processing to the photo. Once the file has been compressed to a JPEG file and processed, you cannot undo these changes, which is why many photographers choose to shoot in RAW format. Here's a good example. Here on the left is a picture of a bird in RAW format, and on the right is the same picture that has been processed and converted into JPEG. Here I'll be using Affinity Photo to edit the RAW file. Now this wouldn't be a good review video if I didn't talk about the design of this mod. You won't find any ports on this device and it has no built-in battery, which I prefer. The mod is heavy as is and it doesn't require any extra bulk or weight. Now on the top there is a power button, camera shutter button, and a zoom toggle. The shutter button does have some wiggle to it and it does take some time getting used to. The front has a textured camera grip similar to those found on DSLRs, but I wouldn't recommend using it for one-handed use. The grip feels great, but you'll want to use your left hand to keep the phone balanced. In the middle, there's a camera surrounded by a metallic finish. The camera hump feels heavy and solid. Even with a few hard drops, I have yet to see any scratches. There's also a xenon camera flash on the top right, and you can find Hasselblad's logo on the bottom right, which adds a nice touch. The rim of the camera lens also sports a Hasselblad camera name, specs, and a red 4116. I'm not exactly sure what it represents, but it does look pretty cool. This mod is a masterpiece. As for the flash, it's the brightest flash I've ever seen on a smartphone device. Here are some examples I took in pitch darkness. Now getting started is pretty simple. Once you attach the mod to your Moto Z device, it will immediately connect. This mod also has a few camera modes which I all find useful. Simply tap on the Hasselblad logo and you can choose from auto mode, sport mode, night portrait mode, backlight portrait mode, night landscape mode, and landscape mode. This camera shoots up to 12 megapixels and it can also record in 1080p at 30 frames per second. You can also shoot in manual mode, which gives you control over the focus, ISO, white balance, and exposure. Now for the rest of the video, I'll be showing you some awesome video and photos I was able to acquire thanks to the Moto Zoom mod by Hasselblad.